Warning. The following program contains explicit content, outrageous opinions, and untrained professionals. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to your uncensored home for World of Warcraft with your hosts, Berserker and Navox. This is Unshackled Fury.
We've staved off the afterlife for just a little bit longer. This show celebrates a milestone, and we brought some extra firepower to help us through it all. Welcome to episode 77 of the Unshackled Fury podcast, your uncensored home for World of Warcraft news and opinions. I'm your host, Berserker, and with me as always is the EVGA to my Asus. He is Navox. Welcome back again, sir.
Just remember what old Navox says, when the earth quakes and the poison arrows fall down from the sky and the pillars of heaven shake and a new video card is released. Navox looks that big old storm right square in the eye and says, give me your best card, pal. I'll wait for version 2.0. I don't think a lot of our listeners are going to get that. I don't think a lot of our listeners will get that at all.
No, I've got a 3090 in my dreams.
Oh my god.
Fraz, you didn't get that reference at all. I think you're a little too young for old Jack Burton.
Who?
There it is. Exactly. Yeah. And
there it is.
And out of the darkness, you hear a third voice coming in, and that's right, folks. They're back because we can't celebrate what we have to celebrate on this show alone. So welcome back, Frasley, to Unshackled Fury.
Oh, it's great to be back. I have to say, you two are so much fun. My favorite episode, though, has to be the episode of Frazzlecast where I had both of you, independently because of our times that we couldn't get you record at the same time. And I loved my whole, lab experience and science experiment. That was so much fun to do the whole, story about it. So
that was impressive.
I had so much fun with that. And I got to bring you back again, both of you, in a time that fits.
Absolutely.
Love to. Anytime. So yes, we've got Frasley here to help us because this, at the time that this episode drops, which will be Monday, October 12th, 2020, it will be officially the 5-year anniversary of Unshackled Fury.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Wow.
5 years ago, dropped the first little track over on SoundCloud, which, another announcement, we are no longer on SoundCloud, so please don't go there anymore. We've had quite a bit of a journey. It was a year on, a year off, and now 3 years back with Navox here in the co-pilot seat. It's been 3 years already since Nav came on board.
Wow.
Which I thought it was 2 years, but it's actually 3. So
It'll be 3 this month.
This
Wow.
month. That's
Time
right.
flies.
It really does.
It really does.
for a year that's been pretty much all hell and chaos, and
Yeah.
seems like it's lasted forever.
Yeah.
For some reason, that seems like it's gone quickly. But welcome all to this big 5-year anniversary show that we've got going on. And as we typically do, we'll let our guest go first today. So Fraz, in the last recent weeks or so, as we're wrapping up the Battle for Azeroth and the final days of this expansion and this patch, what have you been doing in game?
In game, I've kind of been on a lull because, right now I've got Bob the Eye that keeps interrupting me when I'm doing some of the big stuff. So I cannot wait till he's gone with the pre-patch. But I've been doing mount farms on stream and off stream.
There you go.
And nothing's dropped yet. I've gotten some new class hall sets, or not tier sets. I've got some new tier sets and different things, which is always frustrating because you're like, okay, will this boss drop it? You get an alert. You're like, oh, it's just transmog. I love transmog, but you're just like, it's not what I wanted.
Well, you recently got a really good mount, did you not?
Which one?
Did you not get Invincible recently?
Oh, yes. Invincible dropped. Finally fucking dropped. Yes.
Oh,
That's the only mount you need.
congratulations.
You won.
Were you working on the legendary out of there?
No, I have the quest on Frazzly, and I need to go back and work on that one because with the pre-patch, we're going to be able to transmog collectibles or transmog legendaries. Like, I was working with Spaz and Legion. I got a legendary just out of the blue in a dungeon, but it was a ring. I'm like, fucking hell, you give me a legendary, use up all my, because Legion still has that catch-up mechanic.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
you used up all my RNG on a fucking ring. Come on,
Terrible.
Blizzard. I had to delete
Terrible.
that legendary. Or is that not a good idea? Because then it was going to come back. Because try to put it in voice storage.
I always put that stuff in void storage.
Shit.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's random. So
I don't think I've seen my void storage in like 5 years. I'm not even sure what's in there.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah,
go
have you
look.
been avoiding it?
Aha! Yeah, I have.
And if you ever get a warranty on products, don't ever throw them out. You want to void your warranty.
Damn. It's coming in hot, folks.
oh man.
Press on.
I brought the swears and the puns already in the first 5 minutes.
It's only been 5 minutes in, and we're already getting thrown out of half the homes that may have thrown us on the old Alexa. So that'll be fantastic.
You can't let my kid hear a fucking swear. Come on, get your shit together.
So I put a warning at the front, folks. If you got this far without listening to it, it's your own damn fault.
Yeah.
That's how that goes. And how about you, Brother Navo? What have you been up to since the last time we were here?
Man, I am up to a lot in Warcraft. So I've been leveling this hunter. We're going to go back to that. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to a couple people in game that helped me out with a transmog item because I'm still chasing down transmog. So shout out to Slick Rock, who first came to help me with Brawler's Guild.
Yeah.
Let me throw some amber seeds at him. And I was able to get Bruce. So I got that alligator mount. Being from Florida, I like it. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this on the last show. If I did, then I'm wrapping notes up in my head. I don't know. But I knocked that out. And then I needed help with the I got what you need achievement for Legion. It's where you go. You need 4 people because you have to take in the Halls of Valor. You have to go into the king's room and you have to throw ale at the 4 kings, and then that'll give you that achievement. So I finished out the Legion achievement, so I was able to unlock that final color appearance that I was chasing down. So Copper Bolt, Jer, Jinshu, big help out there. I appreciate it, guys. Other than that, I am loving leveling my hunter. I spent 2 hours today following a rare tiger around in Mop, trying to look for tracks on the ground with full ground clutter. I was driving myself mad. So I looked at a YouTube video. Step 1 was turn the ground clutter down to 1 and then use Hunter's Mark. So then I spent 10 minutes looking for Hunter's Mark. And then I found out that it's only available to marksmanship hunters.
Oh boy.
So I finally switched over, chased this fucking tiger down, and tamed it finally. And now I'm level 91, and I think I am now the best player to have ever graced the hunter class at this point. So yeah,
That's a bold statement.
I mean, that was maddening. Chasing that thing, because I would always I'd play this game, and you'd look down at the ground, and there are you'd come across these tracks. And as a warrior, you're like, I don't know what these tracks are. Well, the tracks on the ground, if you're a hunter, the tracks on the ground last there 15 minutes. That means that there's a rare, invisible something or other going around.
I never knew
so
that.
It's a rare animal. It runs around, and I thought, all right, I thought that you had to attack it or something like that. Nope, you just have to follow it around, throw a flare up when it comes out, hit it with Hunter's Mark, and then you can just tame it. So It's a hunter thing, so it's kind of I'm experiencing the game in a different way, playing a different class. Because all I do is I play warriors and play classes and tanks and stuff like that. It's neat to see the game from a different perspective, from a different class.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a new game for me, even though it's not. So, but other than that, just really looking forward to Tuesday. I'm trying to get ahead of the level difference in game. So after we record and after I have some dinner and watch some TV tonight, I'm going to log back in and try to get through Warlords and as far as I can in Legion before Tuesday hits with that hunter class. But
There you go.
how about you, Zerker? What have you been up to?
Well, I've been busy. And I promised on the last show that we would have a surprise for this episode and that I wasn't going to hide it behind a Ryan Seacrest commercial cut. So here it is. After 5 years, finally, Unshackled Fury has its own website.
What the hell?
And you can go right now to unshackledfury.com. And all our episodes are there. Our about information is there. Eventually, we're probably going to start posting some blog posts or warrior thoughts or who knows what. We're going to keep building on it and working on it. But that's what I've been doing. And part of the reason why we wanted to have Fraz on this show today, I was looking for some help on putting our feed somewhere new and getting some input on how to build a website, where to go. And Fraz was the one who got me set straight. So Fraz, I wanted to have you on here so I could personally say thank you for all of your help and all of your guidance in getting us to this point. I really appreciate it. I had some little bits and pieces here where people were helping me kind of, add a little of this and tuck a little of this, but I think our website's pretty kick-ass. So go check it out right now, unshackledfury.com, and hopefully that'll get us in also some of these searches. So when people look for Warcraft podcasts, you might actually find us, because right now you really can't. But yeah, that's the big announcement.
And I gotta say thank you. Like I was migrating the Frazzlecast feed to Transistor as well, which if people have not ever looked into it, if you don't want to pay for podcasting, I would suggest Anchor. But if you do want to pay for podcasting from a great company, Transistor is where to go. And I'm not in the Transistor affiliate program, though I should be. But yeah, I had podcasts on there for a long time, and recently due to finances, I had to consolidate where all my podcasts were on. It was like on 5 different podcast hosts, and they made it easy. It is incredible, and you can have more than one podcast.
Yeah, it was super easy switching from SoundCloud over to Transistor. So anybody listen to this that needs that kind of information, it was super easy. Cost was pretty nominal considering what you get. Analytics seem better than what we were getting before, at least a little bit more believable, because we get these wild spikes on stuff and it just didn't quite make sense. But yeah, so we have a new website, unshackledfury.com. I did buy the domain. That's right, we own it.
Nice.
So it's ours. And check it out. Let us know. Give us some feedback on it. But we're pretty proud to have that finally. Otherwise, like Nav, the last thing that I had to button up before we launched into next week in the pre-patch, I finished Brawlers Guild, got my rank 8, got my Bruce mount.
Oh, nice.
I finished the quest line for the murder mystery, which we talked about a year ago, it seems. And I finally finished it this past week. And you know what? I'll tell you, having all the corruption stuff really helps. You just go in there and stuff just gets nuked down. You're like, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry about mechanics. Just get it done. So after all this time, right at the end, I did get Brawlers Guild done. I also wanted to throw out a quick thank you to 2 other people. One being Jer, who you mentioned earlier. Jer, show listener Jer, shared with me a bunch of old school wrestling photos that I think he said that his dad took, and really appreciated that. That was a nice nostalgia trip to see some of the old classics. That was pretty rad. And then our friend Sal put me on to a new gaming newsletter called Protocol Gaming.
Yes.
And signed up to that. Pretty insightful. They're digging into some of the business and tech stuff that we talk about on this show from time to time. So if you're interested in a new newsletter, I've been impressed so far. So take a look, give it a shot. And one more thing, I just thought I'd just kind of laugh about real quick before we jump into our double rage portion of the show today. Now, I'm still waiting for my CE to come in the mail.
Oh yeah.
I did order mine through Blizzard, but I have noticed that some influencers out there are getting them for free. Just
Oh, they're getting them first. Yeah, absolutely.
Just randomly showing up like, hey, thanks, Blizzard. Now, so what's the etiquette for us? The three of us now. We're here. We're influencers. I don't know. Franz, did you get one?
Nope. I mean,
All right.
Because I'm under no embargo, so no, I didn't get any.
There you go. So the three of us are so what do we do? Do we pretend like we're happy for everybody else and that we're like, yeah, that's great? Or do we all secretly hope that we're getting one because we've been labeled as influencers at one time or another? What do we do, Franz? What's the protocol here? What's the etiquette?
Well, it's very tough because it's like, I mean, this is one that back in December of 19, I was in a WoW video for EU, so dusting my shoulder off. So I don't know if I can quite say, but I mean, I'm happy for those who got it though, because they definitely deserve it. And I can also think these things are expensive as shit, so
Yeah.
I know that they can't give it to everybody.
It's true. It's true. Well, Navo, I know we're always on the fence about these things. We're sitting at the Bud Light table at
That's right.
at the club. You never quite know where you're gonna land, but yeah, seeing some of those CEs coming out there, I will certainly be putting out a post or some tweets and pictures and stuff whenever I get mine. The official page of where I ordered it from says we'll get them by mid-January sometime. I'm like, well, it better be sooner than that. So we'll see. But anyway, you have seen a few of those out there, and I've been keeping an eye on mine. So hopefully, once we get our hands on one, however it happens, we'll talk about it here. Our love for all of these great things that come in these packages.
Oh, I mean, Berserker.
Yes.
I gotta say though, before you go on, thank you for showing me your package. So I got a package from you recently, and I opened it up, and I've got these lovely Unshackled Fury coasters.
Yes. You got swag.
Yes, swag, which I used on my Tuesday night root beer nights. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're
And
so welcome.
You also got me. Audio listeners can't see it, but so I won't like say, hey, I'm showing you this. Even though I'm just showing you. I mean, I'm even saying it right now, audio. But you sent me a Motley Crue Theater of Pain shirt, and I was like,
right.
oh. So I've got it hanging up because it is perfect, and I gotta say, like, I didn't even expect it. So you surprised it. So see, things come in big or small package. I think yours was pretty big. I didn't measure it, but it was pretty big.
You know what? It does the job. And nobody seems disappointed with my packages. And yes, the Theater of Pain, if folks will recall, is the name of one of the upcoming dungeons in Shadowlands, and so we're very excited about that. As Nav and I are very outspoken Motley Crue fans.
Yeah, and anytime I get something from somebody in WoW, like when I'm excited that somebody thought of me to give some, but it also makes it be like you're real. That like you're not somebody that's like out there, it's not like a deep fake robot or video, but that you're actually there and we are communicating across the country.
That's right. I paid real postage.
Yeah.
And I didn't get secret influencer free postage. I had to pay real American dollars. I earned at a job.
I mean, I can add you to the Frazzly influencers group and all that.
Oh. That sounds like an offer I'm going to take up.
I mean, I got to tell you about my surprise for next June for Frazzlecast, but I'll tell you later.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna keep that one under hat. So, because we do have a special guest, and because this is our 5th anniversary show, and we're celebrating so much, it only makes sense for us to go big on the rage. So we are having a double rage portion today.
Yes.
So why don't we go ahead and jump into that?
Let's rage.
So as we all know by now, or at least anybody that plays Warcraft should know by now, Shadowlands has been delayed. We originally were going to get this on October 26th. It has been delayed. We're going to talk more in depth about that delay here in a little bit. But first, the one thing coming out of this that caught our attention most were the reactions. People's reactions to this.
Yep.
Overwhelmingly, I would say, people have been supportive and saying, yes, this was a good idea, or yes, we should be doing this, or whatever. But not all of them. Not everybody's supportive. And in fact, there was one incident that I saw in particular that really kind of got things going. And that was a response to something that you had said out there, Fraz. So
Yes.
for our listeners, why don't you catch them up to speed, and then what happened?
So I had, so Warcraft had put out the video saying, hey, we are very sorry, and we had the team come to the decision that we need to delay the Shadowlands to give you the best possible response. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to respond to Warcraft and say, hey, I am glad that you and the team are watching out for the quality of the game and watching out for your mental health, because that is very important. Like, we enjoyed this game, but there are very real humans that are working on this game. So I put it out there. Then I get some responses, and like one person's like, well, I am so glad that you said I and not we, because, and I'm like, so you're saying that you would have rather them rush the game, or that you would have rather them have their employees work their asses off and get stressed out in a time where we are all under a pandemic quarantine, mental stress. I'm like, come on, this is their first expansion that they can't work at the offices. They like, even what I understand from employees around expansion launches, being in the office together, you have a vibe, you got an energy. It's rushed, but you have that support. Here, they're trying to work across all these things, and they've got their families. Their families are also struggling because they're probably have a spouse or a partner who's not working, or they have kids who are doing school. So these devs have so much external forces, and you want to take the one thing that they're really working on. And of course, I'm going to also even say, who's been upset at BFA and been like, oh, I can't believe that they released BFA too early, and like, so the stress of wanting to put out a good expansion because people have said, well, Shadowlands better be good, or WoW's dead. I'm just like, WoW is trying to really give us the best quality, and it's like, if they would have released it, they'd been like, oh, you should have delayed. And by delaying, they're like, oh, you should have released it. It's like, you can't win.
It's the WoW community.
Yeah, it's like so ungrateful. I mean, because I know we're all paying for it, and we're paying for this expansion, and I am not getting a refund. I understand people who are getting a refund, but I am not refunding it.
No, not at all. And you hit the nail on the head with this, and this is sort of the absurdity of it, which is that you see a lot of these same people that can, like, I need this now, and then, oh, this thing is shit. Like, well, listen, it's that old rule of you can either have it great, but it's gonna take longer, or you can have it crap and you're gonna get it sooner. Like, there's no magic wand here that you can wait. And especially this year, as you point out, there is a pandemic. These people are working from home. Like, the fact that we're even getting an expansion this year in 2020, I thought was a fucking miracle. Like, I didn't think we were going to get one at all.
Right.
When they originally said October, I was shocked.
I was too.
I am genuinely surprised that this is happening. And now we have the delay. And I think most of us have been pretty supportive in saying, well, you know, if you feel like you've got to take that time, take that time. The sort of other part of this that I've seen, which has also been absurd, is people taking credit for, yes, they finally listened to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I was the one who was responsible for this. And Nav, I know that you've seen some of this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're not naming names, but yes. Yeah, if you've got a YouTube channel, you probably said, I told them to do this. You know, it's like...
Now, okay. To be fair, I was asking for Mechanomes or something like that, so I think they did listen to me on that and stuff. So I will take credit for Mechanomes.
Oh, okay. Now Mechanomes are also getting changed, right? Aren't they getting real legs?
I didn't hear that if they are, because like right now they.
I don't know. Was that a thing? Maybe that was just rumor mill.
I think that was rumor mill. I think.
Okay.
I don't know if that rumor has any legs to stand on yet.
Oh, got him. We're gonna have to change this to unshackled puns. This is just out of control.
I'm betting that Jer and Kara are just laughing because I gotta say, Jer and Kara, I love you both so much. So and Sal, I didn't mean to leave Sal out too, because Sal, I love you, and I love you and your green hair.
Loyal listeners to this program, we appreciate you all.
Absolutely.
So yes, we've seen a variety of takes. Some of them have been very bad. So listen, try to keep in mind the environment that is going on right now, and this kind of doubles up with some of the language I've seen recently surrounding the cyberpunk crunch time that was unearthed, let's say, where originally CD Projekt Red had said we're not going to have crunch time for Cyberpunk. They extended the deadline on that game so many times. We were all cool with it.
Yeah.
Now they're saying that they're doing crunch time, and people are like, well, they should be lucky to have jobs. No, that's not the right. Come on, guys. Like, come on. That's not.
Yeah.
Be supportive of these folks. They're working long and hard to get us something really good, and that's true in Warcraft. That's true in these other games, and that industry as a whole sounds like a dumpster fire when it comes to HR stuff. So be supportive, people. Be cool to the Blizz folks. Give them a little leeway. Give them feedback when you need it, and we'll be seeing this expansion soon enough.
And your feelings are valid if you're disappointed. I'm disappointed. So I mean, it's we're not saying that you can't be against the idea of a delay. It's just how you respond to it. Because if you are negative, if you're rude, and you're treating the devs like shit, that is not acceptable. I remember Christy Golden tweeted out afterwards, and Christy, she is, I adore her so much. She put out that it was such a tough decision, and I'm like, you don't realize how tough it is. I even say the monetary impact. People are refunding it. People are unsubbing. The fact that Blizzard probably had launch partners for different things, and they have to either pull those back or delay those. And some of those partners might be like, okay, then the fuck with you. We're gonna go somewhere else. I mean, so we don't know, and the greater thing, what this monetary impact is for Blizzard.
And we keep track of that here. So we'll definitely see. The stock price didn't necessarily take a hit, so I don't think the delay is probably gonna be very long. And we'll talk about that here in a bit. But as I tell my son, you can't control your emotions and how you react to things emotionally, but what you can control is what you do with those emotions. So just be cautious. But one thing that I can't control, but I'm gonna try, is the other half of this rage portion today, which is that we need a universal ban on the word spoopy. This word, every year for the last 10 years, comes out around Halloween, and I hate it. It's if you don't know, it's if you look at Urban Dictionary, it defines something that is funny and spooky at the same time. This comes from a crappy sign that they had at a Ross that was supposed to say spooky, spelled out in skeleton bones, but it came out as spoopy. And inevitably, every year, this cringy, horrible, stupid word comes out from the crypts, and people put it in their Twitter names, and they say it all the time. This stuff is spoopy. No. Banish it. It's a terrible word. I hate it. Nav, come with me on this journey.
Spoopy.
Let me tell you, I saw this trending on Twitter maybe for the past 2 years. People were just putting that in their tagline, and I had no idea what it meant.
Yeah.
Like I and I'm just like, okay, that's cool, whatever. But I kind of get where you're going with it. It's a little silly, and I think there's a song now called Spoopy.
No.
Yeah.
They need to take no.
I think it's already. I think it's out of our control at this point. I don't think you can put that back in the bottle. I think it's just out there.
Now,
sorry.
I'm already picturing a song by By Kanye West, and don't vote Conway. I'm sorry, no, I don't mean to get political, but do not at all vote for Conway. Vote for
Kanye is not on any ballots. Don't worry about it.
That's good. But I can just already picture him going like spoopy to whoop. You remember his like poop to scoop? I can just picture a Halloween version of that song. So
That's it. See, and then all it takes is one spoopy hit, and we'll have it forever. And I'll never be free of it. Just like the Synth Brew goggles, I will never be free of these things. People ruin everything.
Yeah.
So that's it. Ban spoopy. Stop saying it. I'm gonna be word police here. That's right. I'm gonna tell you what not to say.
Uh-oh, I made a spoopy.
See, that is horrible. You better clean that up. So we do have real news to talk about. Obviously, Shadowlands has been delayed, and we're gonna get into that statement and sort of our thoughts on that, our reactions, whatnot, and a bunch of other stuff. So why don't we go ahead and jump into our news? So as we've discussed, and everyone knows, at least at this point, Shadowlands has been delayed an indeterminate period of time. Again, it was supposed to come out on October 26th, and we got a statement from John Haidt, who is one of the executive producers of World of Warcraft. This was back on October 1st, so about a week and a half or so ago. And basically what it said was that they feel that they needed extra time to do, frankly, what Blizzard is famous for. It's committing to quality. And with all of the noise that we have heard in recent years, this battle between Activision and Blizzard, pushing stuff out for the sake of profit. We've talked about this last episode with the Mike Morhaime studio and the statement that Mike had just right across the bow about we're making games for the people, not for profit. I mean, it is a very real concern. And so to be able to say in no small way that they are taking that commitment to quality serious, and as Blizzard should, we're now seeing a delay in an expansion, which has never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
Granted,
Yeah.
we've never been in a year like 2020 before, but here we are. And they did not give us a date for when it's being moved to. They did say that we are still getting our pre-patch as planned. But when this announcement initially hit and all of the furor began, Nav, what was your initial reaction? How did you feel about that? And then coming out of it now, about 10 days later, how do you feel about it today?
I was and still am. I'm pretty bummed. I'm pretty bummed out.
Yeah.
You know, I was really looking forward to. I had my vacation scheduled. I'm sure that a lot of people did the same thing I did.
Mm-hmm.
You knew when the expansion was coming out, and then you went in there and requested time off.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the feedback I saw initially was, "Wow, well now I have to go in and request new time off, and this is the worst thing in the world that has ever happened to me is to have to reschedule my vacation." And
Another bad
if you're in
take.
that position, you're very fortunate, and let's rebox that whole that whole mindset there. But I'm still a little bummed out, and I'm looking forward to that pre-patch is coming on Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to continuing leveling my little alt. And but other than that, I mean, I've said it to you on multiple occasions. I'm genuinely bummed out that we have to wait. I understand, but it doesn't stop me from feeling bummed out. But
That's what it is. How about you, Fraz?
Yeah, I am definitely disappointed, though I did think when I saw October was there, yeah, that's a little early in my opinion. And I have played the beta. I've not played the beta recently because I've been doing some other games in addition to WoW, because it's October, so I'm doing like horror games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And until Shadowlands releases, I'm probably gonna be doing some other games in addition. As I said on another podcast, I'm not leaving WoW. Don't get me at all. I'm not less enthused with WoW. I just now's the perfect time to play some games, because once Shadowlands comes out, I'm going to want to be more invested in WoW and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying you're bored and there's nothing to do?
Oh no,
Nothing.
not at all.
Wow.
There's still
Nothing
plenty
to
of
do.
content.
That's what I heard. I'm bored and there's nothing to do.
No, I'm saying this is the perfect time because then when I get into Shadowlands and I get through some of the content, I can then go do some of the other content as well. So it's a perfect time for me to take a bit of a hiatus in a way from. I still do WoW at least once a week, but I was disappointed. But in the beta, when I was in there, I definitely saw a lot of bugs. I saw some areas. I was like, yeah, they expect this to be out in a month. I'm like, And I'm reading the discussion on class stuff. I mean, look at it. We just saw a developer update where they're like, hey, we see what you're saying about conduits and stuff like that. I believe I got the right. Some of this class mechanics, I admit, I don't always get all the different things on it, so I'm not always the right one to talk about class mechanics. But they're like, yeah, we're gonna undo that, and we're gonna like be like, yeah, I see your point. I know what it was. Character or covenant abilities being used outside of Shadowlands.
Right.
They weren't going to do it, and the community's like, let's add it in, and they're like, okay, we'll add back in. So it's giving them time to refocus. The other area I'm coming from is hearing about BFA and hearing about how they were discussing the Azerite armor system with their intent, but then how it came through. And it took them a few months of patch cycles to fix it with the essences and stuff. And if we can avoid that, and in fact, I want to know what was scrapped in BFA to get the essences going. I'm betting there were systems or improvements in content that we did not get because of the fact that they put BFA when they did. And if we can avoid that and get more stuff and more content, I think we'll be in a better place.
I think like a lot of people, I too was very disappointed. And for me in particular, and Nav knows this, and I've talked about this for a bit, I have been slowly building up a pile. There's sitting next to me, there's literally a pile of PC parts that I'm waiting to do a whole series of upgrades and change outs on.
Did you get the 3090?
No. No, and that, and that's what I'm waiting for. I'm still waiting to get there. I'm going to go 3080. I'm not going to go 3090.
Okay, you don't have $1,500 to spend on a graphics card?
I mean, I don't want to have to spend that kind of money. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I need that to kind of complete the rest of it. I have everything else I need, and it's that thing where I think for folks like myself, where I don't know if it's like an ADD thing, an anxiety thing, somewhere in there, but I get hyper focused on stuff and a project, like a specific project for a period of time. And so it's been that October 26th, this thing is going to come out. Cyberpunk comes out November 19th. Like somewhere in there, I'm going to have all these parts and pieces together. I'm going to take this weekend off. I'm going to do this thing. This is the order I'm going to do it in. And it's just my mind just doesn't stop. It's just that noise just keeps on going. And you get this momentum and this energy, and you're just ready and ready and ready and ready. And then it shuts off because some big roadblock thing happened. It's out of your control. You're like, God, fuck. And there was a period of time for about 2 days where I'm like, man, this really sucks. And you can see my tweet, and I'm going to out myself here a little bit. You can see my tweet, and all I really said was, well, there it is. Because I didn't really know what else to say at the time. Because I want to be supportive of them. If they think they need the time, then they need the time. They're not going to do that just for shits and giggles, right? But on my end of it, I'm like, man, I had this whole thing, like my week of vacation planned out, like all the stuff I'm going to do.
Yeah.
To Nav's point. So I was ready. And I, too, very disappointed. But coming out of that and hearing stories like the things you're talking about, and that was something else I wanted to discuss here, is they didn't get real specific. They talked about tuning and endgame and stuff like that in the statement, but they didn't get real specific on here is a problem that we've seen. They mentioned Torghast, and I don't know how that's gonna continually be worked on. It's a great feature coming, but that sucker's gonna get worked on. I'm telling you, throughout the whole thing. But core features. What does that mean? Right. Gameplay, okay. Like, what specifically is causing this? So, Nav, I know we haven't been the best beta players, but
oh no,
from what you've seen, have you seen? And Fraz, I know you mentioned some of the bugs and questing and things that you've done in the beta and things that you've seen that precipitate like, ooh, this doesn't look like it's ready for prime time. Nav, have you taken a look? Have you seen anything through your experiences looking at chatter out there about what actually is happening here? What really needs to be fixed and worked on?
I think it's the whole. Basically, I think it's the whole Covenant system that they're redesigning at the moment. Instead of doing 3 conduits, it's gonna now be 2, I think, and they're gonna make it so that you can change things a little bit more often, and it's not gonna be tied to a weekly reset. Things like that. As far as bugs go in the game, I am not the best beta tester because I logged in and I went through. I said this on the show. I'm so sick to death of doing the Moss scenario, like the intro Moss scenario. Like I've done it so many times already. I'm sick of doing it, and I haven't rolled a higher level tune because I don't want to ruin, the game later on. So I've logged in and I was able to quest around in Bastion, and you're still running in invisible walls. Like you'll just be questing, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, my character does not move any further. I don't know what's wrong. I just can't, navigate past this blade of grass. It's just this invisible wall, and I've reported this thing over and over and over again. It still hasn't been, it hasn't been fixed. It's not game breaking per se, like how everybody out there on Twitter is like, this game, the patches makes everything completely unplayable. You can't play the game. It breaks all the classes, and it's just a pile of shit. It's not that bad. It's little one-off things, but. I really do feel, though, that the reason why they, put this off was because Preach made a video or something like that. And they're just like, you know what? Preach is right. We should delay this game. That's how I feel this went down.
That's why he got a collector's edition. Come on, Berserker.
I think Ian rolled out of bed and he's like, you know what? I saw that video. Preach is right. And that's it.
That's it. That's better than any team meeting.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Exactly. YouTubers.
Well, Fraz,
that's what did it.
Between the three of us, you're the one that's really had the most experience going through the beta because you've streamed a lot of your play.
Yeah.
And in your experience, what is it that is so, broken, or is it just a lot of little things that need to be polished up? Because they like to use that word polish, right? It needs that Blizzard polish. Is it a general overhaul? Is it a bunch of little stuff? Is it all the above? What, as somebody who's really experienced it, what do you think?
I have not gone into the in-game mechanics, and again, I'm a bad one to talk about that, but I did the campaign a few times, and like twice I ran into a thing where my character could not go further. I couldn't kill this NPC, so I had to like go into war mode, go to a different zone, go like 3 zones back and forth, and it's like immersion breaking bugs that I noticed, and I reported them when they happened, and some of them got fixed, some of them were still there, and like even one that I noticed, and they just put it in a buff hotfix, I think, as they're exploring it. I finished all of the campaign without doing many side quests, and I was still 2 levels from max to go farther into Oribos.
Wow.
I was just about to tell you, the XP was a big thing.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were complaining that as they were questing, first it was, I'm questing and it's just so easy to level. I just blow through and I leveled everything and it's just so fast to level. And then, so Blizzard made adjustments and now it's like, oh, now, they over adjusted, and now going through the zones, now I can't make it to the last, I can't get level 60 without actually doing every single little side quest that you come across in game. So I think the XP tuning has to be done. There's further XP tuning that needs to be done with that as well.
Yeah, like in my opinion, for an expansion, without doing a side quest, and even some of the side quests that I saved for later started getting like gray and can no longer work. But I should not have it where I'm at 58 and my Bastion quests are all gray. That should not be a thing. But I think
no,
you should be able to only do the main quest and finish everything. Because when you're doing alts, you're not going to want to do every single side quest again on all these alts, and you're going to be able to go anywhere that you want. But even there, they did add a system which I've not tested, where you can skip the opening scenario and go straight into doing world quests. So there is a fix there for alts. But in your main experience, I should only be able to do the main storyline and then do side quests to get more information and stuff like that.
Or build up your animal reserves or whatever
Yeah,
the hell else
right.
you got to do. Yeah. So
So it's small things that were immersion breaking because it's things that make you realize it's a game and not a world that you're living in.
And that does make a difference, especially with Warcraft. I mean, it's meant to be this very holistic escape, right?
Yeah.
It's all encompassing. So that's good. That's good to hear. I mean, I think we assume that they have good reasons for doing these things, but just the litany of examples that you've listed, it sounds pretty legit. So we have this indeterminate move. We don't know when the expansion's actually going to hit. We do know that the pre-patch is coming this week, so October 13th, it is coming. So that part of it, that first part, that first patch is incoming. So as we like to do, reading into the tea leaves, looking into the future, gazing into our crystal balls, trying to figure out, okay, what are they going to do? We've seen a sale go up recently for character services. And that's through the 15th of November. So throwing that out, kind of looking at the holidays, when they typically like to schedule how much time raid teams have to get the mythic races going, thinking about their employees, working through the holidays. And it does sound like they're still trying to get it out in 2020. Fraz, what's the date you're circling on the calendar for the new release date?
I am picturing the end of November. I hate to say it. I'm picturing November 23rd. I know that's the week of Thanksgiving in the United States.
Ooh.
But because I think it is far enough into November because they're doing October 27th. Without doing even a few weeks delay, I don't know if that would be enough time for them to do what they need to do. But giving them a month out is good. The other one I can think of is November 30th. I mean, but give yourself a whole month because a delay is a pretty big deal. And you don't want to be like, okay, we're doing this and then, okay, we're done and then have no real effect.
How about you, Nevo?
I'm going to go with December 1st.
Oh.
And I know that kind of sucks because they said 2 weeks and then a raid's coming out. Well, I mean, that's cutting right into Christmas.
I think raid's coming out in January at this point.
Yeah, I think the raid's going to come out in January. I don't think it's going to be a 2-week thing. I think it's going to be, hey, here's the game, enjoy it, level up, and that'll give the teams that are doing whatever they're doing for their world first race, whatever that takes place, enough time to do their mythics and get enough gear, and then when January comes around, we'll get a raid in. What's up?
I just realized the rage is happening. I got this game on November 30th or December 1st, and there's no content till January. This game is so dead. I'm
gonna go play Destiny 2.
But you act like that's different from any other thing that Blizzard rolls out.
That's
for the
true.
Community. Like, I understand the angst. I understand the anger that people have. You'll outgrow that eventually, and you'll just be like, cool, Blizzard rolled something out for us, and we get to play it. And it'll happen eventually in life, guys. You'll get to that point. Get off my lawn.
I've got a privilege that I have stuff on Netflix I want to watch. I've got privilege. I've got games I want to play. So I am speaking from that where WoW's now no longer my only game. There was a point where WoW's my only game, but I've grown out of that. And I'm not saying that if it's the only game that you need to grow out of it. But there are other games you can get in. I mean, you can get sales pretty often.
I'm telling myself that WoW's the only game right now because I can't get a 3080 card.
That's right.
I'm good with so
lest you forget, the true tragedy of our day is the paper release of the 3080s. That's right. Don't you forget. Yes, those are good guesses. And as much as it pains me to say, I'm going to push all the way to December 7th.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to push all the way to December 7th because I feel like, to your point, having maybe another extra week or two for the mythic raids to start, this kind of gets people geared up through Christmas, and then the week after Christmas going into New Year's Day here in the States, at least. I don't know. I feel like that gives them enough time to make meaningful changes. Just to your point, Fraz, a 3-week, because the November 16th, that was something that we kind of threw around with, the character service is on sale till the 15th. Maybe they're cutting it off because on the 16th or 17th, that's when the new one hits. To me, it's too close to Cyberpunk. And I don't think that they want to compete with that. I think they got their own people that want to play that. And it just doesn't feel like enough time to really dial in what they need to do. That last day, essentially, of November, that first week of December, that could be another spot. I think that's a good guess, too. But again, I think it kind of puts them in a weird spot with the rating and the holiday season. And so I'm going to say December 7th. And I hope we don't have to wait that long, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have this rollout October 13th is when we're going to get our pre-patch. We play around with that for a couple weeks, and then, zombie invasion, what? And then that goes on for a few weeks. And then that gives, because you know, by the time the expansion actually hits, people will be so sick of the pre-patch event. They're going to be screaming bloody murder. I've done everything. This is tired and boring, and I wish this would go away. And then, boom. Everyone will have plenty of time to gear up and do all the stuff that we do in that wild pre-patch time. And then off we go. So I'm going to say December 7th, and I'm going to throw it down. But before we get to that, we do have a pre-patch. We do actually have stuff coming. There is new stuff.
Yeah.
So, yay. There is stuff to get excited about. October the 13th, just this coming week, it's happening. Sylvanas is going to shatter the helm. I'm going to go stand up on top of Icecrown.
Question on that. Is that happening in the pre-patch, or is that happening in the expansion launch?
They said that it's happening in the pre-patch, because remember, in the pre-patch, if we get the zombie invasion, that means that the helm has been destroyed because no one's taking care of
Holy
the Scourge.
shit! You're right. I did not even. I kept thinking that we were going to see that event in the expansion launch. I didn't even realize we were getting that in the pre-patch. Okay, wow.
Yeah. So my guess, at least my understanding is that if we go stand on the top of Icecrown Citadel Monday night, depending on how maintenance goes or whatever, it either changes or you log back in after they do maintenance, and you're going to look up and that sky's going to be blown up.
I'm going to be sitting up there with Invincible.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'm going to sit up there with my Time Lost Proto Drake.
Oh!
Not as cool as Invincible, but it's the rarest map I got. But yeah, that's coming. That's happening. So if you want whatever lore happening in real time, there you go. Monday night, I guess that's the time when Sylvanas is going to go ascend Icecrown, and we're going to get that badass battle where our boy gets the beat down. But you know what? That's all right. Bolvar's time is coming. We're going to come around. So with the pre-patch notes are up. Blizzard has posted them. So if you want to go through and see the litany of changes that are coming, because there is, it's a pre-patch. There's tons of things coming. There's tons of stuff changing. Class changes, mechanics changes, world changes. There's all kinds of things happening. So we're, as usual, not going to go through every single little thing here. But some of the major highlights, we have the stat and level squish coming. So everybody's going back down to 50. Hope you like that. Don't be scared. They do have a really fancy chart posted on their website. So if you want to see what the changes are going to look like in terms of I'm level this, what am I going to be as a pre-patch? By the way, if you've saved your 110 boosts and other stuff like I have, you actually get a couple of free levels if you look at the conversion chart. So I've waited, and I'm not using any of my boosts until after the pre-patch, because that'll actually give me like what would have been the equivalent of like 6 or 7 free levels. My lazy ass isn't going to be doing all that. So pretty excited about that. All of the new customization options are coming, so you can get your butts in the barbershops and do all the stuff that you want to do there. The new starting experience is going to be open. I highly recommend everybody check out Exiles Reach. It's super fun, really intuitive. It's a great little story. It all encapsulates kind of this fun little storyline where you go through and shipwrecked and you got to find people, and then it all ends with a raid, and it's that AI tech where you can do it alone.
It's very cool.
They'll give you 4 NPCs basically to be part of your team, and then you go in there and there's a tank and a healer and a whole thing, and it's cool. I really encourage you folks to
and
take a
speaking
look
of
at that.
bugs in beta, that was one that I had last time I went through the new player experience. I get in there and my teammates, the AI, are just sitting by and we're like, and like I'm with somebody else and we're like, okay, and we wiped and finally was like, oh, you want us to fight? Okay, they go, and then we get to one area and the AI is supposed to tank. Well, they let us pull the boss. So yeah, so there are even bugs in the new player experience.
There you go. See? Got to get that right. Yeah, you get them lobies in there. Like, I don't. It'll be like the first time myself and my two buddies ran Dead Mines. That's 3 warriors. Didn't go too well without a healer. Bandaging will not get it done, folks. As much as I have to tell you. One of the big thing that I know I really held out for is the fact that the allied race unlocks are changing, and I no longer need my rep with all of these folks in order to unlock this stuff. So I'm pretty happy about that, because I'm going to be seeing a few new faces on my character screens.
Oh yes.
But for you, Frazo, what are you looking forward to with this pre-patch?
My biggest one is definitely the customization. Like, I'm glad that Blizzard has dropped the charge for appearance changes, because through my journey this past year, well, really my life, but my relations this past year, I'm excited. I'm going to be able to, on Tuesday, change Frazly to the female gender of gnome and get some long hair and all that. So really, the fact that we'll have freedom on characters to change and do all this stuff, I'm so excited for it. And I'm excited for all the mass amount of customization. There's some customization that they showed at the event that's not in the game yet, so there's still movement that Blizzard needs to go there, but I'm excited that they're making the game much more customizable, and I'm excited for what the leveling experience means, what the chroming time means for leveling.
Yeah.
Like I got alts that I want to level up, but I, even with the current process, was not wanting to go back and work on all this leveling. I've done it many times, but now I'll be like, okay, it won't quite be as fast as our lovable warrior Des Mephisto, whereas like he has like 6 hours or 5 hours. I won't be as fast as him.
Des is a machine.
Oh, he is incredible.
He does it.
And I also got to say, I think I love what he does for charity. So if you want to see an awesome warrior, check out Des Mephisto. That's a plug for you. I love you, my friend. But yeah, I love at least maybe the leveling will take me a little bit. And with the heirlooms, this is also one where I like. If the heirlooms don't work as well for Des, but they will work for me for the rested XP stuff. That like it's gonna give you more rested XP. So I hope maybe between the pre-patch and expansion that Blizzard makes heirlooms work even better for everybody. But yeah, that's a tangent too. But I'm excited for the fact that systems are going to feel even better. And like new players, I got a friend who wants to come into WoW, and I said, hold off till the 13th to 14th, because you're going to get an amazing kick-ass experience if you wait just a few more days.
It's such a game changer. The leveling experience that's coming on Tuesday is, it's I don't know if it's past time, but it's certainly time to be able to take a character, if you're brand new, play through essentially the Battle for Azeroth storyline, get caught up to speed, and you're good to go, and then you can unlock the rest of it. To be able to bring in new players, because we've talked about this a lot on the show, is that Warcraft can't live on nostalgia forever. As much as we would all love for that, you have to bring in new blood, and in a marketplace that is continually more saturated, you have to break down that barrier to entry. It's daunting to look at 120 levels today and be like, this story is decades old. I don't know anything that's going on. These people are running around with crazy looking armor, and I've got this, toothpick in my hand. Like, what am I supposed to, like, how do I do any of this? But to be able to come in and say, okay, we got you on rails to a certain extent, and they're even going to have members of the community. I just saw this recently, where you can volunteer if you have achieved certain achievements in terms of leveling and you have a good character standing. You can volunteer to essentially be a helper to new players.
Yeah, guide. Yeah.
And that's phenomenal.
I just hope that they moderate that. I hope there's a GM that keeps that new player chat. And I get trade chat is a toxic hellhole, but newcomer chat, please at least keep somebody at all times at Blizzard HQ watching that newcomer chat, because
Yeah.
I don't want a newcomer to get turned off or to have somebody do something wrong. Or I could even see newcomer chat people going in there to troll with racist or homophobic or stuff like that. So I mean, please Blizzard, you can do it right. And if you could learn from how Final Fantasy 14 does it, because I've heard it, they do at least as of right now, I've heard that they do a good job with their new player chat. So Blizzard, at least please do it right.
We're gonna find out. How about you, Nav? What are you looking forward to on Tuesday?
Oh man, that barber shop is gonna be packed.
Yes.
I'm bringing all my tunes to the barber shop,
Yeah.
and there's gonna be, I'm gonna just have different hair and all my. Oh man, I'm looking forward to all the changes. There's a couple things that I'm missing out on, like some of the new models that they put in game. The ones that I was looking forward to, where they have the scar. They don't have all the color variations of skin for that, so it's kind of weird that but I'm really looking forward to that. I'm the druid especially, because that druid you can make your different forms. They don't have to follow that strict coloration of, well, my hair's purple, that means my cat's going to be black, and
Nice.
and the bear's going to be white. So you can make the the different changes there. Also, single-minded fury for warriors is happening at that point.
That's right.
So if you have some one-handers that are better than your two-handers, load them up, and if not, kill some zombies, get some better gear.
I've got some
But yeah,
one-handed transmog that's been waiting for years to see the light of
Oh
day.
my god. Yeah, like the old Blink Strike sword, all the stuff from BC. I mean,
Lots of stuff.
Yeah, lots of stuff. Thunder Fury even. That's going to be crazy.
Did someone say
we
Thunder
could
Fury
do-
Busted Blade as the Windseeker?
That's right. And wow, I didn't even think about that, because I could dual wield that now. That's awesome. Oh wow.
And now there is
And Shadowmourne. Anyway,
Shadowmourne. I've been throwing Shadowmourne down. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever not have that transmog, but we'll see. But on top of what we are getting, we are losing some things. So that is something
Yeah.
that you're going to want to take a look at the patch notes for. For instance, our corruption effects are going away, which is part of the
Yay.
reason
Yeah.
why. I know Nav's pretty happy about this corruption. I know what a big fan you were. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. Although I will say it was really helpful for the Brawlers Guild. I'm sure I could have done it without it, but
was.
man, having those Twilight Devastations going off,
the beam from heaven coming down and just blowing things up. Yeah, that's
it
crazy.
did make it easier. But there are things like that are going away. There was a good post recently about mounts in particular, mounts from raids and different places, different achievements that do go away. Some of them change at the time of the pre-patch. Some of them change at the time of the actual expansion releasing. So you'll want to take a look at those articles just to get clarification, because there has been some confusion about that. So I'd recommend taking a look. But and Nav, I have to give Nav credit for this. I have decided which 4 characters of mine will be making their trip through the Shadowlands. And one of them is going to require a bit of leveling, and that will be my new druid, Berserker.
Ooh.
Credit to Nav on that name. I don't know how I didn't think of that before, because that just makes so much sense. It slaps me in the face with its obviousness. But Berserker, the druid, will be making an appearance here probably Tuesday or Wednesday, because I do want to get that going and find out what this is all about. And I have so many boosts that I've never used. I might boost
there you go.
one just to get the job done quicker. We'll see. But yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. Plus, eventually down the line, we will get I guess they're calling it the story event that will occur, because we're not going to have the zombie event right away. They're calling it Death Rising. It's a limited time event, like we've seen with a lot of these things. There will probably be stuff we have to kill and some kind of currency, and there'll be limited time transmog or gear or trinkets or toys. Yeah, I mean, hell, there might even be a pet. I'm not really sure, but there's gonna be stuff. So you want to get in there and be ready. And then, like I said, I'm sure we'll all be bored to tears of it by the time the expansion launches. But that's what's coming. So silver lining to every cloud. Pre-patch, still something to get pretty excited about. I'm not going to take time off for it, but you know what? It's time to move on, and we're pretty happy about that. Looking at what we do have coming quickly here about Shadowlands, you know, one of the things that we've talked about with development, game development, Blizzard in particular, Warcraft even more specifically, we've talked about inclusion. And Fraz, you're the perfect guest to have when we're having some of these conversations. There was an article recently by TechRadar talking about the team over there at Blizzard that's working on Warcraft and how they are making adjustments to be more inclusive in how they're developing the game and taking in a wider array of experiences and thoughts and opinions from people on their team and increase their LGBTQ representation. And that's something that, you know, that's a conversation that's been going on a long time. It's a conversation that's going to continue to happen. We've seen it, as we've talked about, with the confirmation that Flynn and Shaw are a couple. We really enjoyed that whole blossoming relationship in the Shadows Rising book. That was really fun, and those are two great characters, so it's awesome that they're going to dive more into the two of them. We've talked about Pelagos, and Pelagos being a character in Shadowlands we're going to come across who was a woman. Pelagos was alive, Pelagos was a woman, and now Pelagos identifies, I believe, as a male.
Yeah.
Or is using, I think we're going with more neutral pronouns.
No, actually, an interesting thing with Pelagos, they were originally going to use they, them, but then on further thought, oh no, Pelagos wants to be male and he prefers he, him. So they said, we're gonna honor that. It's cool that they're showing that people aren't necessarily they, them. I'm a they, them, but that people aren't necessarily a they, them, that some can be he, so or she. I mean, depending on what you're transitioning to.
So, for us here, now Nav and I, we can't speak about any of this from a point of knowledge. We are. I use the term somewhat tongue in cheek, but we are somewhat ignorant when it comes to the experiences of folks who are looking to increase their representation in game. There's always been a white guy with a beard and blue eyes in the games that I want to play for the most part when it comes to RPGs, right? I can always make a character that looks like me. So, Fraz, you know, you and I have talked online, offline, quite a bit.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I have really appreciated about you as a person, as an individual, as I've seen, you know, we know each other, we're friends, but seeing you out there on Twitter, out there on Twitch, out there in social media and everywhere else, you have been very open about your journey and the changes that you've been going through in recent times, which one, I think is an incredibly powerful thing to witness. And I can't thank you enough for sharing that journey with the rest of us, because not knowing what that's like or what any of that entails other than just from an observational distance, it really has an impact on folks like us that don't know what that's like. So for you to be that brave and that open, we can't say enough about how much we appreciate that and how much we appreciate you. So for somebody who can speak from that experience, from that vantage point, what is it like when you see articles like this or discussions like this where these developers or other people are trying to open it up and be more inclusive? What kind of thoughts do you have, and where else do you think that they can improve?
I think it's phenomenal for them to realize that our world is not binary. Our world is not black and white. Our world is not like it's not heteronormative. There's a lot of people who are heterosexual or cis, and that's fine. But they also realize not everyone's in that. Like I know in my life, I've got people who, you know, one's gay, one's pan, one's bi, like, and I've got a coworker who's trans, and I I love the fact that they are feeling free to express that, and it's cool for them to realize WoW should reflect life. I've got a friend, Sash, who used to, who was female, and then in WoW was RPing as a male, and it wasn't the thing that led them to transition, but it was the thing that let them explore. And WoW as a game, you get to be somebody else. You get to play a character, and you get to try something else. And it's cool that they want this game to reflect more of this world. With the cool thing that there's a blue post where they say that transphobia and homophobia and racism do not exist in WoW, and they're working to be more open. And we're not even just talking strictly LGBT. We're talking a diversity and representation of different races. I mean, the fact that they're going through and changing NPCs in cities to be like, hey, we've had these as the same white human or same orc, but we want to change these and make these way more varied. And they're going through and changing them. The fact that guards are going to be different. They want WoW to be as diverse as the world is, and I think that is incredible. Because since coming out, I have seen so much media that when I see somebody that is gay, that is trans, that like is in something different, I'm rooting for them. Like, okay, it's cool. It's not it makes it normalized. It makes it normal, and it's cool to see that happening in WoW. Because I can think of kids who are growing up, and they don't see somebody that represents them, and whatever they identify as, they don't see somebody that represents them. But then they see a game, and they're like, "Oh, that Flynn and that Shaw, they're in a relationship," or "Wow, that guard looks like me." I mean, there's so many examples I can see, and yeah, I think for a kid who may be at home or their parents maybe telling them that they're not normal, but then to see it normalized in a game, that is incredible.
Fantastic. Well, and I think for people like myself, because I can't speak for Nav, but I can only speak for myself, where knowing you before and then knowing you now, because I guess to clarify for our listeners who may not know you, how did you identify and how do you identify now?
So before I came out, I was a straight male. I used to tell people that I liked women. People ask me like, "Are you gay or are you straight?" And I've thought that I liked women, but I am now an asexual, aromantic, non-binary. I don't know if I identify as female. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I know I'm definitely not male, and I know that I am non-binary.
There you go. So one, thank you for that clarification. Two, I really appreciate the kind of guidance that, I don't know if it's intentional or subtle or whatnot, where for folks like myself, where when we know somebody who's going through a transition or, interacting with folks who are, going through various processes in their life, our language has to change.
Yeah.
And so for me, and I just being totally honest with our listeners and with you, frankly, is I have to catch myself, because there are many times when, like, I'll talk to my wife about you, Fraz, and I'll say he, and I go, they, and I have to catch myself, but I appreciate just the opportunity to engage in that way and to be able to learn in that way, because it's not something that has been common. And so to be able to, come around to that and be like, I gotta be supportive of my friend. I've got to be good about this. In order, I have to be cognizant of my language. And it's something that you see with these kinds of discussions more broadly, where this is something that hasn't been normalized and it needs to be. So, it's just even in our language, the way that we address people, even generally, we'll say, hey guys, there's a bunch of women in the group. And it's just commonplace, and it has been. And so you see these little changes. And so, when I talk about just my own personal appreciation of witnessing the journey that you're going through, it's an appreciation not just of how brave you are and all the stuff that you're going through as you go through this, but it's an education for me, which I appreciate.
I have to thank those who have they themselves done a journey because if I had not seen some of my friends who had been brave enough to come out, I mean, and we're speaking about this on National Coming Out Day, and like if I had friends who had not come out and had not shared their experience, I would have been afraid, because it is scary some days because I'm going against what the norm is, but I'm so much happier and I'm so much freer, and that's why
awesome.
I think it's cool that games are moving to the place where it's norm. I mean, I'm watching shows, and like there's a show out there, I don't want to name them on Netflix because I don't want to spoil it, but there's a gay romance in it. I'm like, yes!
I'm actually going to bring that up, Fraz, because I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and it is a little off topic.
Yeah.
But we started watching Schitt's Creek.
Oh, yes.
About 2 weeks ago, right? And we've binged the heck out of it. And I know this World of Warcraft going off topic a little bit, but that show is very much about inclusion.
Yeah.
And the relationships that spawn in that show the writers have done a phenomenal job that it just feels very natural. And I feel that any normal human being watching that show will develop all the normal feeling and reactions that you have when you see all the relationships in the show develop on both sides. So it's, if you haven't seen that yet, I highly recommend watching that show.
It's so good. And
it is so good. It is so good.
I'm on season 5, and season 6 just came to Netflix, and they won so many Emmys. And they wanted that show to be like, here is authentic relationships. And
yeah,
I don't know if Daniel Levy's gay bi pan, but he does an amazing job at least from what I know, showing that in an authentic light. And
yep.
And I think
it's not forced.
Yeah, it's not
forced. Like and you get a lot of that, and you're like, oh God, this feels forced. And then that's when you sit back and you disassociate from it, and you're like, oh, this is not good. And that show does just a phenomenal job. You watch, he and his boyfriend get together, and you're like, oh, that's great.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for them because it's been building up. It's a long time coming, and it's like, but yeah,
that's been one of the I'd say like rage or the reactions from people is like, I've had people that have unfollowed me because I'm living in a lifestyle. I'm living I'm realizing who I am, and they don't want anything to do with it. So some days I see my Twitter follows go down. I don't live by Twitter follows, but it does hurt as a number. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to follow me, but it is something that you can see.
That's got to be disappointing, though, to know that, you're just living your truth and people are, well, can't do that. What?
And the people that have unfollowed you probably have their main tune is a female Death Knight who's got a relationship, like a human female Death Knight who has a relationship with a troll or something like that in game, and they're okay with that. But I get it. It's silly,
And like, no one's trying to say that people can't be straight. No one's saying that they can't be the norm, and we're not trying to. The phrase that I keep seeing in comments even to this article, because there were some comments, and I don't want to give them the time of day other than referencing them a little bit. Mm-hmm. Virtue signaling, or you're just turning all of Azeroth gay. No, they're turning Azeroth more lifelike.
So what if they did?
Absolutely, yes.
So what? It's not. To your point, the virtue signaling, like yeah. By including the rest of humanity, we're doing something bad. Fuck off.
I'll even say that the person that's upset that random bread vendor in Stormwind is that they're going to become black. The one's like, I was like, you didn't care about that bread vendor whatsoever. What do you care if that bread vendor is going to finally be representative? I mean, it's like the anger on that. It's like they're trying to show that there is way more variety in our world than what we see. Because I cannot speak on race, because I'm a white person, and I admit that, and I've got the privilege of that. But I love hearing from people that they like seeing that they're being represented, and I love that.
Yeah, we've talked about on this show before about when Black Panther came out.
And, yes.
Watching people react to that as, now you have a black superhero who is, you look at, T'Challa and T'Chaka the same way that you'd look at Superman and Jor-El. It's like, hey, these are our, like, there we are. There's our guys, and not to be able to have ever experienced that before. That's real shit.
That is.
Yeah.
And we are fortunate, enough to not had to have ever experienced that. So Fraz, I love you. We appreciate you, man. See, there I go.
I keep misgendering myself. So the fact that you acknowledge it, that means the most. And like I said, you don't have to change who you are. You don't have to change the people that you're attracted to. Don't ever feel like we're trying to turn everybody else gay, bi, pan, trans, any of that. But I'm trying to be a beacon to show my journey of 30 years that I thought I was broken for 30 years until I realized who I was. And I think that's what Blizzard has realized, is that they've been probably designing WoW from a perspective. I know that they've had employees who have not felt represented, but as a company, they were making a game that was built and designed with like binaries, with like one race and all that. And they're like, we need to fix that. We need to make it feel diverse. And Navax, you bring up one point, and it is one that I think everybody has to struggle with, is not just being token characters, not being like it has to be an authentic character. I feel they're doing that with Flynn and Shaw and Pelagos. From my,
where it doesn't feel forced.
Yeah, it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like, oh, they're just doing it to do it. They're not trying to be performative, but they're really trying to change.
And if you look at Pelagos even deeper, Pelagos still feels, even in the afterlife, Pelagos still feels uneasy with his transformation.
Yeah.
Because he's only sharing it with you and those who he's close to.
That's right.
So,
I have not yet gotten to read Pelagos' thing, because every time I was in beta with Pelagos, he would never talk to me on that level. So I cannot wait to see his. But I did find it like even some of the text and like hearing Pelagos' backstory. Yeah, and it's cool that even Pelagos is struggling on how far does he come out.
It's gonna be a hell of a journey.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna see. Well, we certainly appreciate you sharing your story with us and with everybody else, and we support you, always have, always will, and that's fantastic. So we can't thank you enough for sharing that with us and our listeners.
I was just on a podcast talking about inclusive communities, and I love the fact that I can bet at points you may not understand what I'm going through. Like, I don't understand what other people are going through, but we're being inclusive, and I love that like you made this podcast inclusive, and that you wanna make it where this community is not toxic, and that's amazing because that's needed. I mean, yeah, the toxicity, like, I feel bad for the writers of Wowhead. I see some of like what they write when they're trying to moderate these comments. Like one said, I would have published the article earlier, but we did not have our mod team awake enough to be able to handle the dipshits who were going to be writing things just because they may not agree with something.
Yeah, it's successful. So, well, appreciate you helping guide us through all that. And as we head out the door on this episode, we are also heading out the door on Battle for Azeroth. So, as we say farewell to this questionably beloved expansion, wanted to walk everybody through where we went, what we experienced, Battle for Azeroth, what we liked, what we didn't like, maybe what we hated, and give our final grades for Battle for Azeroth and where it ranks for us all time for Warcraft expansions. So we'll take ourselves way back to the before times, August 14th of 2018.
Wow, you mean when we could actually shake hands with people, give hugs, we could actually go to the store without masks? And if you go to a store, wear a fucking mask.
Yeah. Don't be a dipshit. Wear a fucking mask. That's right.
But that is weird to realize what we could have done at 18 and all the things.
Yeah, way back when we used to go to movies.
What
back
are
then.
those?
Yeah. What's that? What's the theater? We had Battle for Azeroth come out after Legion, which was a really well received
Yeah.
expansion. We had artifacts. We had crazy lore. I did lose my beloved King Varian, which I'll never get over. But overall, it was a pretty good expansion. And here we came roaring in. We had the Warbringers shorts, right? And then what we had back then, with Daughter of the Sea. If you want to get a cheap pop, folks, make a Daughter of the Sea cover. Because then
There you go.
everybody will fall all over themselves telling you how great your cover of that song is. Because inevitably, no matter when one comes out, it's the greatest thing everyone's ever heard.
Okay,
It's like-
then here we go.
Beware, beware the daughter of the sea. Beware, they heard her cry.
This is going to be the highest rated episode ever.
Lyrics of the song. I'm sorry, it's been a long time.
There we go.
That, you know what? That's better than anything I ever heard Jay the Bard do. Maybe not. But,
Oh, I like Jason Bart. Come on.
Jay's great. Jay's great. No, I
Okay, good. I'm like,
play it
come on,
around. Just play it around.
Good.
Yeah.
Because don't
It's,
let me cry about that.
No, it's a great song, and we all loved it. And we all love Jaina. But we took our tour around the Isles, right? Cool
Yes.
Taras. We'd heard about this place
That's right.
forever, and they bifurcated our leveling experience. Alliance went through Cool Taras. We saw Tiergard Sound and Drusvar and Stormsong Valley. We got to tour around there, see what those families were up to. This great naval fleet we'd always heard about. What were they doing? Jaina's family. What were they doing? Got introduced to our boy Flynn.
Yes.
And that was one of the best characters we've seen in a very long time. Got introduced to Talia Ford Dragon.
Oh,
Which-
yes.
That has a lot of legs left to play out on that one. Horde went over to Zandalar, Nazmir, Vol'dun, Zuldazar. Got to meet a bunch of new folks over there and meet up with some pretty badass folks that we got to raid over on Dazar'alor. Pretty good raid. Uldir was pretty good. I saw some interesting stuff over there. So we toured around there. Eventually, we took our little battle over to Mechagon Island, which I know somebody here really remembers.
Oh, absolutely. I was actually in a voice chat with people during that, and they actually had to turn my mic off because I was so excited.
I love you, but I believe it.
I had been predicting Mechanomes. I had seen articles like I seen the MMO Champion like where they were data mining stuff about and one of my friends Tom had told me to visit up in Tiersong. No, Tiersgard Sound.
Okay.
And go check out the gnome with blue hair that I believe is me in game. I'm just gonna put that out there because they like selfies and they're very. But then I went there and I went up ahead and saw the vault. And I was like, something's coming. So I had been predicting Mechanomes, and even I did a Frazzle report right before the BlizzCon saying we're gonna get like the world of gnomes or Mechanomes. And then what did they do? They unveil Mechanomes. There's my Mechanome. And you're like,
Yeah, you got it. It happened.
yeah.
We got that, and we also got Najatar, which we'd heard about Najatar for a long time. This ancient home of Queen Azshara. Like we'd heard about Queen Azshara forever, and
Right.
we hadn't really seen her in Warcraft, except for briefly in a couple of spots. She hadn't really come out in this full, glorious, furious, righteous anger that we knew, and she's still not gone.
There's a quest, I think, in Vashj'ir with a lot of Azshara. So it is cool going back to older quests. I did Lore Master this past year, and I got to see like, oh, I saw that. So I got to see like, and it's fun going through Mist of Pandaria, and you see the Zandalar are there. I did not realize how prevalent they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we also had the Well of Eternity dungeon, not raid, right? And
Yeah.
I think she's around in that too. So you had these little bits and pieces, but you finally saw it. So yeah, so we took our tour around the Isles. We had a free sort of expansion path you could go where you wanted to go, which is changing for Shadowlands, and then you'd kind of hop back and forth between the islands if you were doing your war campaigns and all those things. So that was the area where we spent the last couple of years. And if you recall, all of this kicked off with Teldrassil basically getting turned into a pile of embers, and that just kicked off a series of events, let's say, which still have yet to quite settle down. We had the burning of Teldrassil, we had the battle for Lordaeron, you had the No Pauldrons thing, and all the Saurfang cinematics that started kicking off.
Wow.
It was all of that right there at the beginning, which finally led us into Jaina getting back into Kul Tiras. We had the battle of Dazara Lore. We had the battle for Darkshore. We had Bane almost getting assassinated, and then we had to save his woolly butt. Then we had Azshara coming up, and then we had not Old God expansion. Like it really ran the gamut. And
Yeah.
It's something that we've talked about on this show before, and I'm interested to get your thoughts on this, Fraz, is that I think overall for me, I enjoyed a lot of what we did story-wise, but it did feel like we kind of ping-ponged a little bit too far between the different parts of the stories, and they did feel, I mean, they had the sort of the tendons to connect them, but they just didn't feel always very, let's say, substantial. So from where we were, where we went, and where we're going to, how do you feel about the cohesiveness, at least on that level, of the story of Battle for Azeroth? Were you satisfied? Were you left wanting for more?
I think that the free-flowing event, it was great in Legion because each of them was kind of a succinct story that was adding to the whole.
Mm-hmm.
I feel going to different places and the fact that like you had to play Horde for one side, Alliance for one side, it was extra content, but like I heard from somebody who finally played a Horde recently, and they're like, that's why we were an old deer, or that's why we did that. And
Yeah.
it was not cohesive. And from what I've already seen playing through the Shadowlands, it makes a lot more sense. I'm still missing some major story because we don't get all the cutscenes.
Oh, yeah.
We only get the big working in progress, which is that is the major character of beta, is the work in progress.
The X'd out screen that says work in progress.
Yeah, or you're in Maldraxxus and you get like the awesome cinematic here, and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
okay. But yeah, I think cohesive wise, it wasn't great. And I think I'm glad that they're in Shadowlands going to make it where you have to go the story once. Then you can redo the story if you want, or you can go anywhere that you want afterward. It gives you the best of Legion and BFA. I do like how when you were questing, there was kind of a free-flowing feel. Okay, I'm going into this zone, moving to this zone. Oh, okay, I found another quest hub. I found these spiraling quests. Okay, now I got to go over here. Oh, found more quests. So it felt really organic in that sense.
And Nav, I'm going to throw this to you first. And I have an answer in mind. I don't know if you're going to say it, but looking back now on the last 2 years, looking back at Battle for Azeroth as this expansion, if we were to start at the top, what would you say was the good? What did you like most about this expansion?
Oh man, I got a couple things here. I think, first, I really enjoyed the initial Battle for Lordaeron. I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Especially when somebody remade Jaina Battle for Lordaeron with the Immigrant Song. I thought that was
the Led
that was
Zeppelin
quite
song. Yeah.
fun. Loved that.
I love Barracuda.
And then I really enjoyed the questing on both continents. I thought Kul Tiras and Xanalar, not so much Nazmir, but Old Deer was okay. And the Battle of Dazara Lore was my favorite raid this entire tier. And on top of that, we got the Kul Tirans. I mean, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I think that's, I got it. That's what I have for the good.
You're missing the one thing you loved most. And I'm going to tell you what you loved most. Was that Drustvar was like Witcher 3.
That's exactly. You know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And it is still my favorite zone to quest in. In fact, it's October. It's the perfect zone to quest in.
You better get out. You better run all your alts through it now.
Right.
Have you been?
Run all my alts through.
Have you been to?
What's that?
Have you been to the clubhouse where you don't steal the candy, and if you steal the candy, in Drustvar.
No.
No.
Is that with the weird? Is that the weird one with the weird child?
It's
that
one of
hangs
those.
out there?
Not this
hell
one, but
no.
it's this one where if you go steal the candy, weird shit happens. It is amazing.
Oh, nice. I'll go check that out.
How about you, Fraz? What was your highlight? What was the good? What did you really like about this expansion?
I liked that it felt like we were taking this battle. I loved going to new zones. I like going to places that like we don't know before. It was fun being like, okay, we're sailing across to BFA. It felt very cinematic because like you're going through stuff. You get the cinematics where your character's there. You get the big cinematics where you're here. I mean, even Nazjatar. How cool was it that you had Lorthamar and Jaina in the same thing, and you're talking with them? You're like,
Yeah.
I'm actually with these people. So that felt really cool. Like you could tell the story was going somewhere. And again, already what I've seen in Shadowlands, they've only taken it up to even further.
Nice. Yeah, I like yourself. I really enjoyed finally being able to see Kul Tiras because we'd heard about it for a long time, and it was part of the RTS game, but it never had a presence in World of Warcraft. So finally being able to go there, to see Jaina finally realize some true extent of her power, like in game, and seeing her just wrecking shit. Like that final in-game cinematic where they have that fleet coming in, and we got all this stuff going on, and she's just going nuts. I've been waiting a while for that. She's had a rough go as a character, and frankly, I'm surprised that she's still alive sometimes, because it's been a tough road to hoe. But it really, at the beginning, it was all about Jaina. Now it's kind of slacked off, and it kind of fell by the wayside. But at the start, at the initial part of it, I really enjoyed that. Very strong. I thought the raids overall were really good. This expansion, the Azshara battle was awful. And the N'Zoth battle was terrible. I didn't like either one. But the raids were good. The raids were great.
Yeah.
And the environments were fantastic. Moving to something that I didn't necessarily like, although I didn't hate, so this is just sort of the generally bad kind of category. I do have to go with Azerite being underwhelming. I thought this borrowed power concept, I guess is the term that we're using. The borrowed power for this being the neck, and then but it was Azerite and Azerite gear, and it just it didn't really pan out well. I didn't hate it the way other people did. I didn't really have as much of a problem with it, but it was just kind of a feeling when it came to the Azerite. But how about you, Fraz? What just didn't quite meet the mark for you?
Story-wise, I was kind of hoping that we were going to finally drop factions, because I knew from the beginning that Battle for Azeroth, that something was going to happen, and I kind of saw with the old gods coming in that they were going to be here. Oh, and also I'm still a little sour that I have the eye still on Fransley. At some point, I probably should remove it because nothing's
You
happened
held
with it
out
so far.
Good for you.
I've kept it, but it ruins transmog. It's like
That's why I got rid of it.
I think somebody has told me to keep it till the next expansion because I don't think we're done with it yet. But I'm kind of like, but yeah, I think the story. This is subjective. Did not go where I was expecting it to. I wanted it to drop the factions, because we're still fighting, and that's really weird that we're still fighting Sylvanas and we're still fighting all this.
Yeah.
How about you, Nav? What didn't quite meet the mark?
I didn't like the endgame corruption. I also didn't like the last tier. I didn't like Underrot and Nyalotha.
There you go.
So, I mean, that's it for me for that, I think.
So going really strong. What did we just absolutely hate or not like at all about this expansion? And I'll throw out here that for me, it was the endless Sylvanas mustache twirling. Always had some kind of, and I hate to use this term, but plot armor that protected her from. She always knew what was going to happen, and she got away with everything. And it's just there always seems to be another step, and there's just been no resolution to that whatsoever. And it's starting to drive me crazy. Plus, then she let her, Bolvar get one pulled over and by her. It's just, it's getting old. And I've said this before.
Yeah.
It's getting old, and I'd better see some kind of resolution one way or another. coming in this next expansion, or you even me, you're gonna start to lose me just a little bit. But how about you, Nav? Was there anything that was just consistently something that really just got you go?
The one thing I could not stand in that game was I did not like the corruption system at all. I didn't like the fact that I felt like you had to just, I mean, I don't know. I did not like having to constantly feel like I had to run Mythic Plus to keep my gear up if I wasn't, getting the right gear out of raids. If I had to get the right Azurite piece of gear or something, it just, I don't know. I felt like I was chasing too many paths for gear and things like that. But I did burn out with raiding. I will say this is the first time in an expansion I think I have burned out with raiding, and it was with that what was her name? Jeez, I can't even think of her name anymore. It was the main bad lady from Cole Terrace who turned traitor on everybody.
Oh,
everybody's screaming
Priscilla?
her name now.
No.
No, it was, anyway, she was that fight on Mythic, that was no joke.
Oh, was she like morphed into that creature?
Yeah. I can't even think of the name of the fight. It was such a tough fight, and it was like that burned me out. But we eventually did get past it, but it was tough. Man.
How about you, Fraz? Was there anything that just consistently just made you crazy?
I can't really think anything on that because, like I said, I see the faults in BFA. I see the faults in the Azurite system and the essences. I, to be honest, did not understand the essence system until later on, and I didn't go for the essences. So I definitely did not play my character the way it should. But I'm kind of a casual player anyway. So yeah, nothing that's really grating on me and making me be like, oh, BFA sucks ass. No, there's nothing that's making me do that.
There you go. On that note, final grades. What grade do we give Battle for Azeroth overall, just on its own merits? And then where do we rank it in comparison to the other expansions that we've played thus far? And I'll throw this last one to our guest, Frasley. What grade would you give Battle for Azeroth, and how does it stack up against its predecessors?
It's going to sound bad, but I give it a C because Legion was kick-ass. I mean, it was just like the end of everything and really, really cool. And like you're going to this island, you're taking down the demons, and like you cannot wait till the next one to go there. And like the story felt really good. The systems were really good. It was way better than Warlords, in the idea that Warlords stopped the story and just did not go anywhere. Whereas BFA, the story, we had issues. Well, I shouldn't say we, but people had issues with the story here and there. But they finished the story, and like we saw the end of the story, and like they took us to the tree, took us to Sylvanas. Whereas Warlords, and then wait a year or more. I don't know how people did content creation with Warlords, because if we think the delay for this is bad, don't forget Warlords. And but yeah, I'd say it didn't have some of the amazing set pieces of even like the Wrathgate. I've never experienced Wrathgate, but everyone tells me about Wrathgate. I do remember some of the set pieces that we saw. The Broken Shore, oh, that was cool. Like you're going in there, you see Gul'dan, and if you're like me, you even try to go up toward Gul'dan, and Gul'dan sends down Smite, and like you die instantly in front of Gul'dan. But the set pieces were really cool. They were well designed, so I'm not at all trying to crap on what Blizzard's done. I just don't think it lived up to some of our expectations. The class system definitely, with like the Azurite and the essences, it definitely shows that it did not work out the way that they thought. They were trying to innovate, but it didn't work out. But it's not a bad experience, and I think it's a perfect expansion to start new players on. That's why I support them going with BFA as the base game.
There you go. So all time, would you say this is pretty much middle of the road then?
Yeah, middle of the road. Like it was a amazing reprieve. There were like coming off of the high of Legion. Yeah.
Okay. Same questions to you, Nav. overall grade, and where does it rank all time?
Overall grade, I'm going with a C+.
Okay.
I'm going with a C+. So
right.
when Fraz said C, I was like, I'm right there with you. So I'm giving it a C+. Now, here's my ranking
'Kay.
in order.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
Wrath, number 1.
I see
Best
that.
expansion. Wrath is still my favorite expansion.
Okay.
Mop.
Okay.
Legion
'Kay.
is 3. Burning Crusade is 4. BFA is 5th.
Okay,
Right there.
yeah.
And then I've got WAD and CAT underneath that. But, so I've got BFA underneath Burning Crusade. Burning Crusade was my first expansion, and it was amazing. So I mean, it's
It doesn't age as well. Like, Burning Crusade doesn't age well when you're playing it now. Like, I don't love questing in Burning Crusade.
it doesn't, because you get to Hellfire Peninsula, and then you either go to Terrakar Forest and you're done. So you don't get to experience Nagrand or the other areas, Blades Edge Mountain and things like. You don't get to experience the whole big expansion there. So you're only getting like 2 zones worth of Burning Crusade, and there was a lot of them. I thought it was really well done back in the day. The music, the zone music,
Yes.
still
Oh,
brings
yeah.
me back.
Oh, yeah.
I love all that. So, but Battle for Azeroth being what it is, I it was fun to level in. I felt we got some fun new classes out of it. It didn't blow me out of the water.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna shit on it. It just I love play. I'm still playing it, but it just
Oh,
number 5 on my list.
and fun fact, there are already BFA private servers, I've heard. So
Oh boy, there's always some. There's always some.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to be a little more generous than the both of you, because I'm going to give it an overall grade of a B-.
okay.
I think there could have been more, or it could have been more cohesive, and that's really where it kind of falls down for me. But I'll be generous, keep it in the B's. It'll be a B-, and possibly for my B mount, since I still love that mount very much, and I'm so glad that I got
It is
that.
still all the buzz, but I still need to work on the remount.
It's easy with the auction house now. You can just buy your way to it for a relatively low cost. But it's a keeper. And overall, here is my ranking at this time for the Warcraft expansions. Much like Nav, Wrath number 1, followed by Mists of Pandaria, Legion, Battle for Azeroth, Burning Crusade, because leveling through it is terrible, Warlords of Draenor, being hit by a bus, and then Cataclysm.
There we go. We were close. We just flipped our
close.
BC and BFA.
Very
Nice.
close. So those are my definitive rankings. And with that, we bid adieu to Battle for Azeroth. You were a decent expansion that helped bridge the gap. You were with us in the before times. You are with us now in the apocalypse.
And first expansion without Metzen at the helm.
And first expansion without Mensa. That's right.
That's right.
So we will always remember this time and where we were when all hell was breaking loose. All right. Well, this will do it for this episode. I want to thank our guest Frasley for stopping by our furious fortress. And for anyone who's looking to follow you and your antics out there in the world, where can they find you at, Fraz?
You can find me on Twitter at Frazzlytastic, where I will be like posting different things, and I'm probably a very prolific Twitter poster some days. I'm on my podcast Frazzlecast, which you can find at frazzlecast.com, where every other week we talk with somebody from around Azeroth, and I get to know them. A lot of puns there, and it can get off the rails, but it's a lot of fun. And if you want to see me throughout the week, having like either playing WoW or playing other games, and just having shenanigans, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/FazlyS. So wherever you go, I hope that you find fun, and I aim for all my spaces to be inclusive. So just like this podcast, we want you to feel that you are valid and that you matter and that you love, or that you're loved. That I don't know if you love or not, but that you are loved.
There you go. Fraz is good people. Give Fraz a follow wherever you are, and get a little boost during your day when you need it most. And other than this fine program, where can the good people find you on the internet, Navox?
You can find me over on Twitter and Twitch. I am at NAV_OX.
As for me, you can always find me on Twitter at Berserker Rage and this show at Unshackled_Fury. Feel free to contact the show with your questions, comments, or otherwise by going to unshackledfury.com. And you can find this show wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Spotify, and Pandora. So once again, thank you for listening. Remember to keep your swords wet and your banners high, and we'll see you next time. Farewell.